The city itself breathes a heavy, damp air, a constant companion to the towering structures that pierce the perpetually bruised sky. Rain often falls in a steady silver curtain, washing over the gargoyles perched high above the streets, their stone faces worn smooth by countless storms. These are the nights when Gotham truly comes alive, or perhaps truly reveals its hidden depths. The neon signs of Blackgate Prison cast a sickly green glow onto the churning river, a stark contrast to the distant, almost ethereal light spilling from the windows of Wayne Manor, nestled on its isolated hill. Each building, each alleyway tells a story whispered on the wind, a narrative woven into the very fabric of the city. It is a city of sharp angles and deep shadows, where light struggles to assert itself against the encroaching darkness. Even the air carries a metallic tang, a faint echo of the industry that once thrived here, now replaced by a different kind of industry, one of crime and consequence. The cobblestone streets, slick with rain, reflect the hurried, anxious movements of the few pedestrians brave enough to venture out after dusk. Their footsteps echo, amplified by the close-set buildings, creating a rhythmic, almost hypnotic sound that blends with the distant wail of a police siren. This is a city that never truly sleeps, even when its inhabitants wish it would. It hums with a low, persistent energy, a tension that is palpable, a constant thrum beneath the surface of everyday life. The Gothic architecture, with its intricate carvings and imposing facades, seems to lean in, as if listening to the secrets exchanged in hushed tones below. Every shadow seems to hold a secret, every doorway a potential danger. It is a place where hope is a fragile thing, easily extinguished, yet stubbornly persistent in the hearts of a few. The sprawling urban landscape is a labyrinth, a complex maze of interconnected streets and hidden passages, some known only to a select few. From the towering spires of the financial district to the decaying tenements of the East End, a sense of unease permeates every corner. The city's history is etched into its very foundations, a tapestry of triumphs and tragedies, of heroes and villains, each leaving an indelible mark. The air itself feels heavy with these memories, a silent testament to all that has transpired within these walls. The distant clang of a bell from a forgotten church tower marks the passage of time, a sombre, resonant sound that drifts across the rooftops. The city is a character in itself, a living, breathing entity with its own personality, its own moods. It can be a cruel mistress, demanding much from those who call it home, yet it also holds a strange, undeniable allure. There is a certain beauty in its decay, a grim grandeur in its perpetual twilight. The faint scent of ozone hangs in the air after a particularly intense lightning strike, momentarily illuminating the intricate details of a forgotten gargoyle, its stone eyes staring out into the storm. The low growl of distant thunder is a familiar lullaby, a constant reminder of the city's tempestuous nature. The flickering streetlights cast long, dancing shadows, transforming familiar objects into monstrous shapes. Even the silence, when it occasionally descends, is not truly silent, but filled with the myriad small sounds of a city that never truly rests. The distant murmur of traffic, the faint cry of a night bird, the rustle of leaves in a hidden park, all contribute to the symphony of Gotham. It is a place of stark contrasts, where immense wealth coexists with crushing poverty, where dazzling light struggles against the deepest darkness. The very air seems to hum with the city's stories, a constant, low-frequency hum that is almost imperceptible, yet always present. The rain continues its steady descent, a cleansing force that washes over the city, yet never quite manages to arouse the stains of its past. The reflection of the city lights on the wet pavement creates a shimmering, distorted image, a fleeting glimpse of a world that is both familiar and utterly alien. This is a city that demands a protector, a silent guardian who moves through its shadows, a watchful presence in the endless night. He is a figure of legend, whispered about in hushed tones, a symbol of hope for some, a terrifying spectre for others. His silhouette, when it appears against the backdrop of the moon, is unmistakable, a dark, imposing shape that embodies the very essence of vigilance. He is the counterpoint to the city's chaos, the order that strives to emerge from the anarchy. His presence is a constant, a silent promise in a world of broken vows. The very air seems to thicken with his arrival, a subtle shift in the atmosphere that signals his proximity. He is a creature of the night, at one with the shadows, moving with a grace and precision that belies his formidable strength. His cowl is a mask, yes, but also a symbol, a beacon in the darkness. The cape, a dark flowing extension of his form, billows behind him as he glides across the rooftops, a silent, predatory bird. His eyes, when glimpsed, are intense, focused, revealing a deep well of resolve. He is a man driven by a singular purpose, a relentless pursuit of justice in a city that often seems to defy it. His methods are unconventional, his appearance terrifying, but his intent is clear. He seeks to protect the innocent, to bring balance to a world teetering on the brink. The criminals of Gotham know his name, and they fear it. It is a name whispered in their nightmares, a chilling reminder of the consequences of their actions. He is the shadow that stalks their illicit activities, the unexpected force that shatters their carefully laid plans. His presence is a constant disruption, a wrench in the gears of their criminal enterprises. He is not a figure of comfort, but a figure of necessary fear, a deterrent in a city that often feels beyond redemption. His movements are fluid, almost supernatural, as he navigates the complex urban landscape, a silent hunter in a concrete jungle. The grappling hook, a familiar sound, cuts through the night air, a sharp metallic hiss that signals his ascent to another rooftop, another vantage point. He observes, he plans, he acts, always with a calculated precision that leaves little room for error. His intellect is as sharp as his physical prowess, a formidable combination that makes him a force to be reckoned with. He is a detective, a scientist, a martial artist, a master of disguise, all rolled into one relentless individual. The tools he employs are extensions of his will, gadgets designed to aid him in his tireless war against crime. They are sophisticated, innovative, yet always purposeful, never for show. Each piece of equipment has its place, its specific function, in his intricate dance with danger. The batarang, a silent projectile, slices through the air with deadly accuracy, a familiar sight to those who oppose him. The smoke pellets, when deployed, create a sudden, disorienting cloud, allowing him to vanish and reappear as if by magic. His utility belt, a repository of these specialized instruments, is a testament to his preparedness, his foresight. He is always one step ahead, always anticipating the next move of his adversaries. This is the world he inhabits, a world of perpetual twilight and moral ambiguity, a world he has chosen to protect. His commitment is unwavering, his resolve absolute. He is the silent guardian, the watchful protector, the Batman. His story is intertwined with the very fabric of Gotham, a legend that grows with each passing night, each daring act of heroism. He is a symbol, a promise, a warning, all at once. The city needs him, even if it does not always understand him. His presence is a constant, a fixed point in the swirling chaos, a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. He is the embodiment of justice, a force that pushes back against the encroaching darkness, striving to reclaim the city from the grip of fear and despair. His fight is an endless one, a perpetual struggle against the forces that seek to undermine Gotham's very soul. He is the quiet strength that underpins the city's fragile peace, the unwavering will that refuses to surrender. The rain continues to fall, a steady, rhythmic beat against the pavement, a constant companion to the silent vigil he keeps. The city sleeps, or at least tries to, while its protector watches over it, a solitary figure against the vast, indifferent sky. The rain continues to fall, a steady, rhythmic beat against the pavement, a constant companion to the silent vigil he keeps. The city sleeps, or at least tries to, while its protector watches over it, a solitary figure against the vast, indifferent sky. Tonight, however, the silence is broken, not by the city's usual hum, but by the frantic wail of sirens, a dissonant chorus piercing the night. A familiar, unsettling laugh echoes through the streets, carried on the wind, a chilling promise of the chaos to come. It is a sound that Batman knows all too well, a prelude to the Joker's twisted games. The destination is clear: Arkham Asylum, a place of confinement now poised to become a stage for unparalleled pandemonium. The armoured vehicle rumbles through the gates, its headlights cutting through the gloom, revealing the imposing Gothic architecture of the asylum. Stone gargoyles perch on the rooftops, their silent gazes fixed on the approaching vehicle, as if witnessing a preordained tragedy. Inside, the Joker is strapped to a gurney, his face a mask of feigned compliance. His eyes, however, sparkle with an unholy glee. He is enjoying this, every moment of it, a master conductor about to unleash his symphony of madness. Batman stands guard, his formidable presence a stark contrast to the Joker's theatricality. He knows this is a trap, a meticulously crafted illusion, but he cannot refuse to bring the Joker to justice. The rules of engagement are always set by the villain, and Batman, in his unwavering commitment to justice, is often forced to play along, always striving to minimize the damage. The asylum's interior is a labyrinth of dimly lit corridors, echoing with the distant cries of the disturbed. The air is heavy with the scent of antiseptic and despair, a potent cocktail that permeates every corner of the institution. Orderlies, their faces etched with weariness, push the gurney deeper into the facility, past barred cells and locked doors, each containing a mind fractured by the weight of its own reality. As they approach the transfer room, a sense of unease settles over Batman. The quiet is too profound, the movements of the staff too synchronized. This is not a routine transfer. This is a meticulously orchestrated event. The Joker, with a sudden explosive burst of energy, breaks free from his restraints, his laughter erupting into the cavernous space. The carefully constructed facade shatters, revealing the true nature of his plan. He has been waiting for this moment, meticulously planning every detail, every unpredictable twist. The asylum, once a place of containment, transforms into a battleground. Inmates, freed from their cells by the Joker's unseen accomplices, pour into the corridors, their shouts and screams adding to the cacophony. The orderlies, overwhelmed and outnumbered, fall victim to the sudden uprising, their cries of alarm quickly silenced. Batman, ever vigilant, immediately engages the freed inmates, his movements swift and precise. He is a blur of motion, a dark silhouette against the flickering emergency lights, his fists and feet delivering swift, incapacitating blows. He moves with an almost supernatural grace, deflecting attacks, disarming opponents, always with a calculated efficiency that minimizes harm while maximizing impact. The Joker, meanwhile, makes his escape, his cackling laughter trailing behind him like a malevolent echo. He is not interested in a direct confrontation with Batman, Not yet. His goal is to unleash chaos, to turn the asylum into his personal playground, and to watch Batman struggle against the tide of his own making. The asylum's security systems, once impenetrable, are now compromised. Doors clang open, alarms blare, and the voices of the inmates, once muffled, now reverberate through the entire facility. The air is thick with the dust of crumbling plaster and the metallic tang of fear. Batman finds himself in a desperate race against time, navigating the increasingly hostile environment, always one step behind the Joker's unfolding scheme. He uses his grappling hook to ascend to higher vantage points, surveying the unfolding pandemonium below. From above, he can see the full extent of the Joker's insidious plan: the liberation of the most dangerous inmates, the sabotage of critical systems, the systematic dismantling of order. He sees the likes of Zasha, a deranged serial killer, reveling in the newfound freedom, his knife glinting in the dim light. He witnesses the terrifying strength of Bane, a hulking figure fueled by venom, tearing through reinforced doors with ease. He hears the chilling whispers of Scarecrow, his fear toxin already beginning to spread through the ventilation system, preying on the deepest anxieties of both inmates and staff. Each encounter is a test of his resolve, a challenge to his unwavering commitment to justice. He must contain the chaos, protect the innocent, and ultimately recapture the Joker. He moves through the administrative offices, the medical wing, and the maximum security block, each area presenting new dangers, new obstacles. The asylum's architecture, once a symbol of its strength, now becomes a weapon against him, its narrow corridors and hidden passages serving as ambush points for the Joker's liberated henchmen. He finds himself in the recreation room, a space usually filled with the muted sounds of supervised activity, now a scene of utter pandemonium. Inmates are smashing furniture, tearing down decorations, their pent-up aggression unleashed in a torrent of destruction. Batman, with a heavy heart, engages them, his movements precise, his focus unwavering. He is not just fighting criminals, he is fighting the very essence of madness, a force that threatens to consume everything in its path. As he progresses deeper into the asylum, he uncovers more of the Joker's twisted machinations. The Joker has not just freed the inmates, he has armed them, supplied them with weapons scavenged from the asylum's armory, turning them into an even more formidable threat. He has also planted bombs throughout the facility, threatening to bring the entire structure crashing down, burying everyone within its walls. The stakes are impossibly high. Batman knows that failure is not an option. He is the only one who can stop the Joker, the only one who can restore order to this besieged institution. His comlink crackles with the frantic voices of Commissioner Gordon and Oracle, their concern palpable, their voices a grounding presence amidst the rising tide of chaos. He receives updates on the spreading fear toxin, the escalating violence, and the Joker's taunting messages broadcast over the asylum's intercom system, his voice a venomous lullaby of destruction. He enters the botanical gardens, a glass-domed sanctuary within the asylum, now transformed into a lush, overgrown prison. Poison Ivy, her skin a vibrant green, her eyes burning with an unnatural intensity, has taken root, her poisonous plants intertwining with the asylum's infrastructure, creating a deadly, beautiful trap. Batman must navigate her toxic lair, battling her plant-controlled minions, all while trying to avoid her mind-altering pheromones. He faces Killer Croc in the sewers below the asylum, a primal battle against a monstrous foe in the murky depths. The air is thick with the stench of stagnant water and decaying matter, the darkness punctuated only by the occasional flicker of his detective vision. Croc's raw strength and ferocity are a formidable challenge, pushing Batman to his physical limits. Each encounter is a piece of the Joker's grand design, a carefully placed obstacle meant to wear Batman down, to break his spirit, to force him to confront his deepest fears. But Batman's will remains unyielding. He is a force of nature, a symbol of hope in a world teetering on the brink of despair. He pushes forward, driven by an unwavering sense of duty, his focus laser sharp. He knows that the Joker's ultimate goal is not just to escape, but to break Batman, to prove that even the Dark Knight can succumb to the madness he so desperately fights against. The asylum becomes a reflection of the Joker's twisted mind, a chaotic, unpredictable landscape where sanity is a luxury and survival is a constant struggle. Batman, however, is a beacon of order in this maelstrom of madness, a silent guardian against the encroaching darkness. He moves from one crisis to another, extinguishing small fires, disarming bombs, rescuing trapped staff, and even some of the less dangerous inmates caught in the crossfire. His presence alone is a source of comfort, a fleeting moment of hope in the midst of overwhelming despair. He is the quiet strength that underpins the city's fragile peace, the unwavering will that refuses to surrender. The rain continues to fall, a steady rhythmic beat against the pavement, a constant companion to the silent vigil he keeps. The city sleeps, or at least tries to, while its protector watches over it, a solitary figure against the vast, indifferent sky, his fight against the Joker's chaos continuing unabated within the walls of Arkham Asylum. Within the shadowed confines of Arkham Asylum, a new, more potent threat begins to brew, its origins deeply rooted in a familiar, terrifying substance. This is the story of Venom and its monstrous evolution into the Titan formula, a chemical concoction that promises strength but delivers only devastation. It is a tale woven into the very fabric of Gotham's underworld, a dark thread that binds its most dangerous inhabitants. The Venom formula, in its initial iteration, is a stimulant, a powerful steroid that grants its user immense, albeit temporary, physical prowess. Its most infamous proponent, Bane, arrives in Gotham with a history steeped in its use. He is a man forged in the crucible of a brutal prison, his very existence a testament to the formula's ability to transform the human body into a weapon. Bane's introduction to Arkham is not a quiet one. He is a force of nature, his muscles bulging, his breathing a heavy, rhythmic hiss as the green liquid courses through his veins. He is a living, breathing advertisement for Venom's power and a chilling warning of its addictive grip. In Arkham Asylum, the formula finds new, eager subjects. Dr. Penelope Young, a brilliant but morally compromised scientist, becomes obsessed with understanding and replicating Bane's strength. She sees not the destruction, but the potential, the raw power that could be harnessed. Her laboratory, hidden deep within the asylum's administrative offices, becomes a crucible of experimentation, a place where ethical boundaries are not just bent, but shattered. The air in her lab often carries a faint, acrid smell, a testament to the volatile chemicals she manipulates with clinical precision. Dr. Young's initial research focuses on the properties of Venom, dissecting its chemical structure, isolating its active compounds. She works tirelessly, her brow furrowed in concentration, her hands moving with a practiced ease among beakers and test tubes. The fluorescent lights of the lab cast a pale, sterile glow on her work, illuminating the complex diagrams and equations that cover her whiteboards. She is driven by a desire to improve upon the original, to create something even more potent, something that could truly revolutionize human capability. The breakthrough comes not as a sudden flash of inspiration, but as a gradual, painstaking process of trial and error. Dr. Young modifies the venom formula, enhancing its effects, making it more stable, more powerful. She names her creation the Titan formula, a name that evokes images of ancient, unstoppable giants. This new compound is not merely a steroid, it is a transformative agent capable of grotesquely distorting the human form while amplifying its strength to terrifying levels. The first successful batches of Titan are a vibrant, glowing green, a sickly, almost unnatural hue that seems to pulse with latent energy. The devastating effects of the Titan formula are not immediately apparent. Initially, there is only the promise of power, a seductive whisper in the minds of those who are desperate for an edge. The Joker, ever the opportunist, quickly recognizes the potential of Dr. Young's creation. He sees not a cure, but a weapon, a means to unleash chaos on an unprecedented scale. He manipulates Dr. Young, preying on her ambition, her desire for recognition. He convinces her that her work is for the greater good, that her formula will help him restore order to Gotham, a twisted lie that she, in her scientific fervour, tragically believes. Under the Joker's influence, the Titan formula is distributed among Arkham's inmates. The results are horrific. Petty criminals, once weak and easily subdued, are transformed into monstrous, hulking brutes. Their skin becomes thick and leathery. Their muscles distend. Their minds become clouded by a primal rage. Their eyes, once human, glow with a malevolent green light, reflecting the very substance that now courses through their veins. The transformation is painful, agonizing, but the promise of invincibility overrides all other sensations. The asylum, already a place of despair and madness, descends further into chaos. The Titan-infused inmates rampage through the corridors, their roars echoing through the stone walls. They tear through reinforced doors, shatter observation windows, and overwhelm the already stretched security forces. The air becomes thick with the smell of ozone and fear, punctuated by the guttural cries of the transformed. The guards, armed with their standard-issue weapons, find themselves outmatched, their bullets having little effect on the monstrous figures now stalking the halls. Batman, in his grim pursuit of the Joker, encounters these Titan-enhanced enemies firsthand. He witnesses the tragic metamorphosis, the loss of humanity, the sheer destructive power of the formula. He sees the fear in their eyes even as they lash out with superhuman strength. He understands that this is not merely a fight against criminals, it is a fight against a biological weapon, a perversion of life itself. The combat is brutal, requiring all of his skill and ingenuity to subdue these distorted figures without causing them further harm, a delicate balance between justice and mercy. One of the most tragic victims of the Titan formula is Killer Croc, already a formidable and monstrous figure. When exposed to the Titan, his transformation is even more grotesque. His scales become thicker, his jaws more powerful, his size increases to an alarming degree. He becomes an even more primal force, a creature of pure instinct and aggression, driven by the Titan's rage. He lurks in the asylum sewers, a terrifying, unseen presence, his guttural growls a constant reminder of the horror that has been unleashed. The Joker himself eventually succumbs to the temptation of the Titan formula, though not in the way he intended. In a desperate attempt to gain an advantage over Batman, he injects himself with a large dose, believing it will make him invincible. The transformation is immediate and horrifying. His already gaunt frame swells, his skin turns a sickly green, his signature grin stretches into a monstrous, fanged maw. He becomes a grotesque parody of his former self, a towering, raging beast, yet still retaining a twisted semblance of his maniacal personality. This final desperate act underscores the formula's true nature. It does not empower, it corrupts and destroys. The fight against the Titan-infused Joker is a desperate struggle, a clash between raw, unbridled power and unwavering determination. Batman, despite facing an enemy of immense strength, uses his intellect and tactical prowess to exploit the formula's weaknesses. He understands that the Titan, while granting strength, also makes its users more vulnerable to certain attacks, more susceptible to environmental manipulation. He uses the asylum's architecture, its crumbling infrastructure, and its various systems to his advantage, turning the very environment into a weapon. The Titan formula leaves a lasting scar on Arkham Asylum and on Gotham itself. The aftermath is a scene of devastation, with shattered walls, overturned furniture, and the lingering stench of the chemicals. The formula's legacy is one of broken bodies and shattered minds, a testament to the dangers of unchecked ambition and the seductive allure of power. The formula is eventually contained, its production halted, its remaining samples secured, but the memory of its monstrous effects lingers, a chilling reminder of the horrors that can be unleashed when science is twisted for malevolent purposes. The Venom incident, as it comes to be known, serves as a stark warning. It highlights the vulnerability of Gotham's institutions, the ease with which even the most secure facilities can be compromised. It reveals the depths of human depravity and the tragic consequences of scientific hubris. The Titan formula, born from Venom, stands as a symbol of the destructive potential that lies within the pursuit of ultimate power, a dark chapter in the ongoing saga of Gotham's struggle against chaos. The rain continues to fall outside, a cleansing shroud over the city, but within the asylum, the echoes of the Titan's roar still resonate, a quiet, persistent hum of past terror. The rain continues to fall outside, a cleansing shroud over the city, but within the asylum, the echoes of the Titan's roar still resonate, a quiet, persistent hum of past terror. Now the city shifts, the landscape itself transforming under a new, more ambitious design. The walls begin to rise not around an asylum, but around a vast section of Gotham itself, a sprawling, enclosed district that will soon be known as Arkham City. This is a grand, terrifying experiment, a super prison unlike any other, where the most dangerous criminals and the most disturbed minds are to be contained, not within cells, but within an entire urban environment. The idea is simple, yet chillingly complex. Let them fight amongst themselves, let them govern their own chaos, and perhaps, just perhaps, they will consume each other. It is a concept born from a desperate fear, a profound weariness with the endless cycle of crime and punishment that has plagued Gotham for so long. The architects of this new vision believe they are offering a solution, a final answer to the city's woes. At the centre of this audacious plan stands Hugo Strange, a man of formidable intellect and a chillingly calm demeanour. He is the mastermind, the director of this monumental undertaking, and his presence casts a long, cold shadow over the entire project. Strange is not a man of brute force, but of psychological manipulation, a master of the mind. He possesses an unnerving understanding of Batman, a knowledge that seems to penetrate the very core of the Dark Knight's being. This insight is a weapon, a tool he wields with precision, and it fuels his conviction that Arkham City is not just a prison, but a necessary step in the evolution of Gotham, a purification, perhaps even a revolution. He speaks of a grander purpose, a protocol that will bring about a new order, a final solution to the city's criminal blight. His words are measured, his eyes intense, and his ambition knows no bounds. The political machinations behind Arkham City are intricate, a tangled web of power and influence. Mayor Quincy Sharp, once the warden of Arkham Asylum, now holds the highest office in Gotham. He is a man haunted by the events of the asylum breakout, a man whose public image was shattered by the chaos that ensued. He seeks redemption, a way to reclaim his authority and restore order to a city teetering on the brink. Strange with his silver tongue and his seemingly foolproof plan offers Sharp that redemption. He whispers promises of a safer Gotham, a city finally free from the grip of its villains. Sharp, desperate and vulnerable, becomes a puppet in Strange's elaborate scheme, a figurehead for a project whose true depths he does not fully comprehend. He signs the papers, he makes the speeches, he champions Arkham City as the ultimate deterrent, the final answer. The public, weary of fear and uncertainty, largely embraces the idea, seeing it as a necessary evil, a drastic measure to reclaim their streets. They do not see the deeper currents, the hidden agendas, the true architect pulling the strings from the shadows. The construction of Arkham City is a monumental undertaking. Old buildings are repurposed, new walls are erected, and the chosen district is systematically isolated from the rest of Gotham. The air is thick with the dust of demolition and the clang of construction. Cranes swing heavy girders into place, forming the formidable perimeter that will contain the city's most dangerous. Patrols are established, not just around the walls, but within the newly formed boundaries, a constant reminder of the inescapable nature of this new reality. The police force, under the direction of Commissioner Gordon, watches with a mixture of apprehension and reluctant acceptance. They understand the desperation that drives this project, but they also harbour a deep unease about its implications. The very idea of ceding an entire section of the city to its criminals feels like a surrender, a dangerous gamble with the lives of countless innocents. Yet the orders come from above, from the mayor's office, and they are carried out with a grim determination. Within the walls, a new society begins to form, a chaotic ecosystem of villains, thugs, and ordinary citizens caught in the crossfire. The Joker, still recovering from the Titan formula's effects, finds himself a kingpin in this new domain, his laughter echoing through the dilapidated streets. Penguin, with his own brand of brutal efficiency, carves out a territory, establishing his influence through fear and intimidation. Two-Face, his mind forever fractured, seeks to impose his twisted sense of justice, his coin dictating life and death. These are not merely prisoners, they are warlords carving out their fiefdoms in this urban wasteland. The concept of rehabilitation is abandoned, replaced by a brutal, Darwinian struggle for survival. The strong prey on the weak, and the weak cling to whatever semblance of order they can find. The air is thick with tension, a constant hum of impending violence, a powder keg waiting for a spark. Batman watches all of this unfold with a growing sense of dread. He sees the folly, the inherent danger in this grand experiment. He knows that containing evil does not eradicate it, it merely concentrates it, allowing it to fester and grow. He understands that Hugo Strange is not merely a warden, but a man with a deeper, more sinister agenda. Strange's knowledge of Batman is particularly unsettling, a source of profound concern. How does he know so much? What his true motives? These questions gnaw at the Dark Knight, fueling his determination to uncover the truth behind Arkham City. He sees the suffering, the injustice, the innocent lives caught in the web of this monstrous creation. He knows that he cannot stand idly by while Gotham descends into this new abyss. The city, once a symbol of hope and progress, is now a cage, and its inhabitants, both innocent and guilty, are trapped within its confines. The future of Gotham hangs precariously in the balance, a fragile thing threatened by the very solution that was meant to save it. The walls of Arkham City stand as a monument to fear, a testament to the desperate measures taken when all other options seem to fail. But for Batman, it is merely another challenge, another injustice to be righted, another darkness to be confronted. The darkness within Arkham City is not just a metaphorical one, for a deeper, more insidious plot is unfolding beneath its shadowed streets. A plan known only as Protocol 10, whispered in hushed tones, its true nature shrouded in secrecy. This protocol is the brainchild of Hugo Strange, the enigmatic psychiatrist who now holds the reins of Arkham City. He moves through its labyrinthine corridors with an unsettling calm, his eyes betraying a profound, almost messianic conviction in his own righteousness. He believes he is the city's saviour, a necessary evil to purge Gotham of its perceived impurities. His intentions, though cloaked in the language of order and control, are far more sinister than any public declaration could ever suggest. He envisions a new Gotham, cleansed and purified, a city born from the ashes of the old, and he is willing to sacrifice countless lives to achieve his chilling vision. Strange has meticulously orchestrated every detail, every prisoner transfer, every security measure, all leading to this ultimate, devastating conclusion. He has manipulated the city's elite, convinced them of the necessity of his extreme measures, and now he stands on the precipice of enacting his final terrible act. The very air within Arkham City seems to hum with an unspoken tension, a foreboding stillness that precedes a great storm. Batman, ever vigilant, senses this underlying current of malevolence, a feeling that something far grander and more destructive than mere containment is at play. He pieces together fragments of information, whispers from the shadows, and the unsettling behaviour of Strange himself. Each clue, a tiny piece of a much larger, more horrifying puzzle, slowly reveals the true scope of Protocol 10. It is not merely about maintaining order within Arkham City. It is about a wholesale, surgical eradication of all perceived threats, a final solution delivered with cold, calculated precision. Meanwhile, within the grimy, decaying walls of Arkham City, another tragedy is unfolding. A slow and agonizing decline that affects even the most resilient of its inhabitants. The Joker, the clown prince of crime, the embodiment of chaos, is dying. The events of Arkham Asylum, particularly his exposure to the Titan formula, have taken a terrible toll on his already ravaged body. He carries a terminal illness, a creeping poison that slowly saps his strength, dulls his once vibrant madness, and paints a pallor of death upon his painted face. His laughter, once a booming, terrifying sound, is now often punctuated by ragged coughs. His movements less agile, his energy noticeably diminished. He is a shadow of his former self, a king dethroned by an invisible enemy, and the realization of his impending demise fuels a desperate, frenzied desire for a cure, a way to cheat death, even if it means dragging others down with him. This illness, a direct consequence of his own monstrous actions, serves as a grim irony, a poetic justice that even Batman cannot ignore. The very substance that gave him temporary monstrous strength now consumes him from within. He knows his time is short, and this knowledge ignites a dangerous spark of desperation within him. He orchestrates a new, twisted game, a final macabre performance designed to ensure he does not fade quietly into the night. His search for a cure becomes a frantic, destructive quest, a desperate grab for immortality that threatens to engulf all of Gotham in its wake. He believes that only Batman, his greatest adversary, holds the key to his survival, a belief that drives him to ever greater acts of depravity and manipulation. He sees Batman not just as an enemy, but as a twisted reflection, a necessary component of his own existence, and now his only hope for continued life. Batman, in his relentless pursuit of justice, becomes entangled in the Joker's final desperate gambit. He finds himself in a race against time, not only to uncover the full extent of Protocol 10 and prevent Hugo Strange's catastrophic plan, but also to navigate the Joker's increasingly erratic and dangerous attempts to find a cure. The lines between saving and condemning blur as Batman grapples with the moral implications of his actions. Does he allow the Joker to succumb to his illness, thus removing a perpetual threat from Gotham? Or does he, in his unwavering commitment to saving all lives, however undeserving, attempt to find a solution for his most hated foe? This moral dilemma weighs heavily upon him, a silent burden carried through the dark alleys and crumbling buildings of Arkham City. The city itself becomes a crucible, testing Batman's resolve, his principles, and his very humanity. The Joker's illness manifests in disturbing ways, his skin growing paler, his hair thinning, his once sharp wit occasionally faltering. He becomes more unpredictable, his mood swinging wildly from manic glee to profound despair, a reflection of the poison coursing through his veins. He is a dying animal, cornered and dangerous, lashing out at anyone and everyone who stands in his way. He uses his remaining strength to sow chaos, to ignite fear, to leave a lasting impression on the world before his final curtain call. He infects others, a desperate attempt to share his suffering, to make his death mean something, to ensure he is not forgotten. He believes that if he must die, then Gotham must feel his absence, must bear the scars of his passing. His legacy, he thinks, must be etched in the very foundations of the city, a permanent reminder of his chaotic reign. He sees himself as a force of nature, and even in death he intends to leave a lasting, destructive impact. Batman, observing these changes, understands the gravity of the situation. He knows that a dying Joker is perhaps even more dangerous than a healthy one, for he has nothing left to lose. The stakes are raised exponentially as two catastrophic events converge. Protocol 10, threatening to obliterate a significant portion of Gotham's population, and the Joker's final desperate and destructive acts. The weight of these converging crises presses down upon Batman, a heavy cloak of responsibility that he carries with stoic determination. He moves through the shadows, a silent guardian, a solitary figure against a tide of impending doom. He knows that the fate of Gotham, and perhaps even his own soul, rests upon his ability to navigate this treacherous landscape, to make the right choices in the face of overwhelming despair. The air crackles with an unspoken tension, a sense of finality as the city braces itself for the storm that is about to break, a storm born from the twisted ambitions of Hugo Strange and the dying madness of the Joker. The very stones of Arkham City seem to hold their breath, awaiting the inevitable confrontation, the clash of titans that will determine the future of Gotham. The city itself, a sprawling canvas of shadows and light, prepares for a different kind of night, a Christmas Eve that will be anything but peaceful. This is a time before the walls of Arkham City rise, before the grand designs of Hugo Strange take their final form. We are stepping back, further into the past, to a Gotham that is still finding its footing, and to a Batman who is still defining his legend. He is younger now, less seasoned, the weight of his mission still settling upon his shoulders. The cape feels a little less familiar, the cowl a little less ingrained. He moves with a raw intensity, a burning drive that has not yet been tempered by years of relentless struggle. This is a Batman who is still learning the true depth of the darkness he fights. A Batman who's about to face a trial that will shape his understanding of justice and the criminal underworld. The air is cold, a biting wind whipping through the concrete canyons of Gotham. Snowflakes, large and soft, begin to drift down, coating the gargoyles and ledges of the towering buildings in a delicate white lace, Christmas decorations, strung across streets and adorning shop windows, glow with a fragile warmth, a stark contrast to the chill that permeates the city. There is a quiet hum of anticipation, not of festive cheer, but of something darker, something dangerous brewing beneath the surface of this holiday night. Black Mask, a name whispered with fear and respect in the criminal underworld, has put a bounty on Batman's head. 8 of the world's deadliest assassins have answered the call, drawn by the immense reward and the challenge of taking down the nascent Dark Knight. Each one a master of their craft, each one a different facet of the city's burgeoning villainy. They are converging on Gotham, a deadly constellation of mercenaries. Their individual paths set to intersect with Batman's own. We see the bat signal, a stark silhouette against the swirling snow, cutting through the night sky. It is a symbol of hope for some, a beacon of fear for others. For Batman, it is a call to action, a constant reminder of his vow. He stands on a rooftop, the wind tugging at his cape, his gaze sweeping over the city below. The weight of expectation, of responsibility, is a palpable presence. He is still an enigma to most, a shadowy figure who strikes from the darkness. His methods still a subject of intense debate among the police and the public. His first encounter with Killer Croc is a brutal one, a raw display of power and savagery. The fight takes place in the grimy depths of the sewers, the air thick with the stench of stagnant water and decay. Croc, a hulking figure of muscle and scales, moves with surprising speed, his claws tearing at the concrete, his roars echoing through the confined space. Batman, despite his youth, displays an impressive resilience, his training allowing him to withstand the onslaught, to find the openings, to exploit the weaknesses. It is a harsh introduction to the monstrous side of Gotham's underbelly, a reminder that not all threats can be reasoned with, that some can only be subdued through sheer force and tactical prowess. Then there is Deathstroke, a master tactician and a formidable combatant. Their clash is a dance of precision and skill, a ballet of blades and fists. Deathstroke's movements are fluid, his strikes calculated, each move designed to incapacitate, to kill. Batman, still honing his combat style, finds himself pushed to his limits, forced to adapt, to anticipate, to learn in the heat of battle. The fight is a testament to Deathstroke's deadly efficiency and to Batman's burgeoning ability to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. The sparks fly as metal meets armour, the sounds of their struggle sharp and percussive against the backdrop of the city's distant hum. Bane, a force of nature, a titan of strength and intellect, also makes his presence known. He is a different kind of challenge, a strategic mastermind as well as a physical powerhouse. Their initial encounters are marked by Bane's cunning, his ability to outmaneuver Batman mentally before engaging him physically. The venom coursing through Bane's veins gives him an almost supernatural strength, turning him into a monstrous opponent. Batman grapples with the ethical dilemmas of fighting such an enhanced foe, knowing that a direct confrontation might prove fatal. He must rely on his wits, on his understanding of his enemy's weaknesses to survive. The battles with Bane are less about brute force and more about psychological warfare, a test of wills as much as a test of strength. Electrocutioner, a less imposing but no less dangerous assassin, uses his mastery of electricity to create a chaotic and disorienting battleground. His attacks are sudden, unpredictable, a flurry of crackling energy that can incapacitate with a single touch. Batman must navigate the electrified environment, using his agility and his knowledge of electrical systems to turn the tables on his opponent. The fight is a sharp reminder that not all threats come in the form of brute strength, that ingenuity and technological prowess can be just as deadly. Copperhead, a lithe and deadly assassin, moves with serpentine grace, her poisoned attacks a constant threat. Her speed and agility make her a difficult target, her venom a silent killer. Batman must rely on his reflexes, on his ability to anticipate her movements, to avoid her deadly strikes. The fight is a blur of motion, a testament to Copperhead's acrobatic prowess and Batman's developing defensive skills. The close-quarters combat is intense, each movement a calculated risk. Firefly, a pyromaniac with a penchant for destruction, brings a fiery chaos to the city. His flamethrower lights up the night, turning the urban landscape into a dangerous inferno. Batman must contend not only with Firefly's direct attacks, but also with the spreading flames, the collapsing structures, the general pandemonium he creates. The fight is a race against time, a desperate attempt to contain the destruction and apprehend the arsonist before the entire city is engulfed. The heat is oppressive, the smoke chokes the air, and the roar of the flames is a constant, terrifying sound. Lady Shiva, a master martial artist, presents a different kind of challenge. Her fighting style is precise, elegant, and incredibly effective. She is a true warrior, her movements a deadly dance. Batman finds himself facing an opponent whose skill rivals his own, forcing him to push his own martial arts abilities to their absolute limit. The fight is a pure test of skill, a demonstration of two masters at the peak of their physical and mental conditioning. The quiet intensity of their struggle is a stark contrast to the more explosive battles with other assassins. And then there is Deadshot, the world's greatest marksman, a sniper who can hit any target from any distance. His presence is a constant, unseen threat, a silent danger that can strike at any moment. Batman must use all of his detective skills, all of his knowledge of the urban environment, to track down this elusive assassin. The encounters with Deadshot are less about direct confrontation and more about a deadly game of cat and mouse, a battle of wits and observation. The crack of a distant rifle, the sudden impact of a bullet, these are the hallmarks of Deadshot's presence. Through all of these encounters, Batman is not just fighting for his life, he is learning. He is learning the true nature of Gotham's criminal elements, the depths of their depravity, the extent of their ambition. He is learning about himself, about the limits of his own strength, the boundaries of his own resolve. Each bruise, each close call, each victory, however small, shapes him, hardens him, refines him. The city, in turn, is learning about him. The police, initially wary and distrustful, begin to see the efficacy of his methods, the impact he has on the spiraling crime rate. The criminals, initially dismissive of this new vigilante, begin to feel the cold grip of fear. Amidst the chaos of the assassins, a more insidious plot begins to unfold. The true orchestrator, the puppet master behind Black Mask, slowly reveals himself. The Joker, not yet the fully formed agent of chaos we will come to know, is already a malevolent force. His madness, a nascent yet potent threat. His manipulation of Black Mask, his subtle influence on the events of this Christmas Eve, foreshadows the grander, more destructive schemes he will unleash upon Gotham in the years to come. This is a glimpse into the early stages of their eternal dance, the beginning of the most iconic rivalry in Gotham's history. The snow continues to fall, blanketing the city in a deceptive calm. The Christmas lights still twinkle, a fragile defiance against the encroaching darkness. Batman, weary but resolute, continues his relentless patrol, a solitary figure against the backdrop of a city on the brink. This Christmas Eve is not a time for celebration, but a crucible, forging the hero that Gotham desperately needs. The lessons learned on this cold, brutal night will echo through the years, shaping the legend of the Dark Knight, preparing him for the even greater challenges that lie ahead. Challenges that will one day bring him to the very heart of Arkham City, and to the ultimate confrontation with the forces of overwhelming despair. the challenges that lie ahead, challenges that will one day bring him to the very heart of Arkham City and to the ultimate confrontation with the forces of overwhelming despair. This night, however, is still unfolding, a night of raw beginnings and unexpected turns. He moves through the shadows, a nascent legend, unaware of the specific threads that are being woven around him, threads that will bind his destiny to another, in a way he cannot yet comprehend. The air still carries the chill of winter, a biting reminder of the city's unforgiving nature, and the snow continues to fall, soft and silent, blanketing the harsh edges of Gotham, creating a temporary, deceptive peace. He is focused, his senses keen, tracking the remaining threats, but a new presence is stirring, a chaotic energy that is unlike anything he has faced before, a presence that will redefine his understanding of menace. It is a presence that will not merely challenge his physical prowess, but will probe the very depths of his resolve, testing the boundaries of his sanity. This new force is not driven by greed or power in the conventional sense, but by an impulse so pure in its malevolence, so gleefully destructive, that it will leave an indelible mark on his soul. He is about to meet the Joker, though he does not yet know this name, nor the profound, terrifying impact it will have on his life. The encounter is not a planned one, but rather an inevitable collision of two opposing forces, a dark mirror reflecting his own nascent heroism. The city hums with a strange anticipation, a silent tremor beneath the surface, as if the very stones of Gotham are holding their breath, awaiting this pivotal meeting. He moves with a practiced grace, a phantom in the urban night, his cape whispering against the wind, his boots making soft, almost inaudible sounds on the snow-dusted rooftops. His mind is a whirlwind of calculations, assessing threats, analysing patterns, always searching for the next move, the next way to protect the innocent. He is still learning the nuances of his role, the weight of the cowl, the burden of his promise to Gotham. And in this learning, he is vulnerable to the unexpected, to the truly unprecedented. The Joker, for his part, is already a whirlwind of unpredictable energy, a force of nature unleashed upon the unsuspecting city. He is not yet the fully formed agent of chaos that Batman will come to know, but the core elements of his terrifying persona are already vividly present. His laughter, a high-pitched, unsettling sound, echoes through the abandoned industrial district, a prelude to the madness he's about to unleash. He moves with a disturbing lightness, a dancer of destruction, his eyes alight with a manic glee that chills the very air around him. He is seeking something, though perhaps even he is not entirely sure what it is, beyond the sheer thrill of disruption, the exquisite pleasure of turning order into chaos. He is drawn to the spectacle, to the grand performance of his own twisted artistry. And on this particular night, his attention is drawn to the emerging figure of Batman, a new player in Gotham's grim drama. He sees in Batman not an enemy to be vanquished, but a fascinating counterpoint, a canvas upon which to paint his most elaborate, most horrifying masterpieces. The very idea of a costumed vigilante, a creature of the night dedicated to justice, sparks something primal within the Joker, a perverse admiration, a dark fascination. He is intrigued by the concept of a hero, a figure so diametrically opposed to his own nihilistic worldview. It is a challenge, a game, an opportunity for unparalleled amusement. He is not interested in simply defeating Batman. He is interested in understanding him, in breaking him, in proving that even the most noble intentions can be corrupted, can be twisted into something ugly and meaningless. He sees Batman as a reflection, a distorted image of himself, and this recognition, this strange kinship, will form the bedrock of their enduring, agonizing rivalry. The first encounter is not a grand battle, but a series of unsettling moments, a dance of cat and mouse, where the rules are constantly shifting, constantly being rewritten by the Joker's unpredictable whims. Batman is initially bewildered by this new adversary, by the sheer lack of discernible motive, by the unsettling joy the Joker takes in his own depravity. He is accustomed to criminals driven by clear, albeit nefarious, goals: money, power, revenge. But the Joker operates on a different plane entirely, a realm of pure, unadulterated chaos. His methods are theatrical, his crimes elaborate, his victims often chosen for their symbolic value rather than any practical gain. Batman finds himself constantly on the back foot, trying to anticipate a mind that defies logic, a mind that revels in the absurd. He is forced to confront the limits of his own rational approach, to grapple with a force that seems to exist solely to unravel the fabric of order. The Joker's laughter, once heard, is impossible to forget, a haunting, mocking sound that will forever echo in Batman's ears, a constant reminder of the darkness that lurks beneath the surface of Gotham. This initial interaction is marked by a chilling intimacy, a sense that the Joker sees Batman with an unnerving clarity, recognizing something within him that even Batman himself is still discovering. The Joker's words are a twisted mirror, reflecting Batman's own fears and vulnerabilities, exposing the nascent hero to the depths of his own potential for darkness. He is not merely taunting Batman, he is engaging him, drawing him into a macabre conversation, a dialogue that will continue for years, a dialogue of violence and psychological warfare. The Joker's fascination with Batman is immediate and profound. He sees in the caped crusader not just an opponent, but a partner, a foil, the only one who truly understands the exquisite artistry of his own madness. He is drawn to Batman's unwavering moral code, to his refusal to compromise, to his relentless pursuit of justice. For the Joker, Batman represents the ultimate challenge, the purest form of order, and therefore the most satisfying target for his chaotic impulses. He wants to see how far he can push Batman, how much he can bend him, how much of that unwavering code he can shatter. It is a perverse form of love, a destructive obsession that will consume both of their lives. Batman, in turn, finds himself drawn into the Joker's orbit, repulsed yet compelled to confront this ultimate evil. He recognizes the Joker as a unique threat, a psychological weapon unlike any other. He understands that the Joker's crimes are not just about the immediate victims, but about the message they send, the fear they instill, the chaos they sow. He sees the Joker as a virus, infecting the very soul of Gotham, and he knows that he is the only one who can contain it, who can fight against its insidious spread. Their relationship is forged in this crucible of early encounters, a bond of mutual obsession, a dance of death and defiance. The Joker's immediate fascination with Batman is not a fleeting interest, but a deep-seated recognition of a kindred spirit, albeit one diametrically opposed to his own nature. He sees in Batman the potential for greatness and the potential for despair, and he is determined to explore both. He wants to prove that even the purest hero can be broken, that even the most steadfast resolve can be shattered. He wants to drag Batman down to his level, to show him the true meaning of chaos, the ultimate absurdity of existence. And Batman, in his nascent heroism, is forced to confront this terrifying reflection, this dark mirror that reveals the depths of human depravity. He is learning, on this brutal night, that not all villains can be understood, not all evils can be reasoned with. Some forces simply exist to destroy, to corrupt, to revel in the suffering of others. And he is learning that his mission, his promise to Gotham, will demand more than just physical strength. It will demand an unwavering spirit, an unyielding will, a constant battle against the encroaching darkness, both within himself and within the city he has sworn to protect. The Joker's first appearance is not just a moment in time, it is a turning point, a genesis of the most iconic rivalry in Gotham's history. It is the beginning of a long, arduous journey for Batman, a journey that will test his limits, challenge his beliefs, and force him to confront the very nature of good and evil. The snow continues to fall, soft and silent, covering the city in a pristine white, a deceptive shroud over the brewing storm, a storm that will rage for years to come, a storm of laughter and shadows, of justice and madness, forever binding the Dark Knight to his most terrifying, most fascinating adversary. The storm does indeed rage, but not in the way anyone might have expected. Years pass and, the city, though scarred, begins to heal. The Joker's reign of terror is a fading, though never forgotten nightmare. Yet, a new shadow, a deeper, more pervasive dread, begins to creep into the edges of Gotham's collective consciousness. It is a fear that does not announce itself with a cackle or a bang, but with a whisper, a creeping unease that settles deep in the bones of the city. This new terror is orchestrated by a familiar foe, one who understands the very essence of fear, who has dedicated his life to its study and its deployment. Jonathan Crane, the Scarecrow, returns, not as a mere villain with a gas gun, but as a meticulous architect of panic, a maestro of psychological warfare. His plans are grander, more insidious than anything he has attempted before, designed to strip Gotham bare of its courage, to expose its deepest vulnerabilities. He has learned from past failures, refined his methods, and now he stands ready to unleash a nightmare unlike any the city has ever known. His return is not a simple re-emergence. It is a calculated, chilling declaration of war on the city's very soul. He has spent his time in the shadows, observing, planning, perfecting the formula for absolute terror. The air itself seems to thicken with an unspoken dread, a premonition of the horrors to come. The city, accustomed to its daily dose of chaos, finds itself facing a new kind of enemy, one that attacks not with fists or bullets, but with the very air they breathe, with the images that flicker in their minds. The Scarecrow's masterstroke is the creation of a super-concentrated fear toxin, a potent airborne agent designed to infect the entire city. This is not a localized attack, not a targeted assault on a few individuals. This is a pandemic of panic, a widespread psychological assault intended to bring Gotham to its knees. The toxin is not merely a hallucinogen, it is a key that unlocks the darkest corners of the mind, forcing individuals to confront their deepest, most primal fears, to experience them with a horrifying vividness that blurs the line between reality and nightmare. The very thought of it sends shivers through the city, a cold dread that begins to seep into every home, every office, every quiet street. The news reports begin to trickle in, then swell into a torrent, describing the terrifying effects of the toxin. A single whiff, a breath of the tainted air, and reality contorts, twisting familiar sights into grotesque visions, friendly faces into monstrous visages. People describe seeing their worst fears made manifest, reliving past traumas with excruciating clarity, or facing imagined horrors that defy description. The city's authorities, overwhelmed and unprepared for an attack of this magnitude, issue a desperate plea. The mayor, his voice trembling with a fear that mirrors the city's own, announces a mass evacuation. Gotham, a city that has weathered countless storms, faced down armies of villains and stood resilient against the most unimaginable threats, is forced to empty its streets. The images are stark and unsettling. Endless lines of cars, bumper to bumper, stretching for miles, their occupants fleeing in silent desperation. Families clutching their most treasured possessions, their faces etched with a mixture of fear and bewilderment. The once bustling avenues become rivers of humanity, all flowing in one direction, away from the looming threat, away from the city they call home. The bridges, usually arteries of daily life, transform into escape routes, choked with vehicles and pedestrians, all desperate to outrun the invisible enemy. The air is thick with the hum of engines, the distant wail of sirens, and the unspoken anxiety of thousands. The evacuation is not orderly. It is a desperate scramble, a race against an unseen clock. The fear toxin, a silent, insidious killer of courage, is already beginning to spread, its tendrils reaching into the furthest corners of the city. The evacuation is a testament to the sheer terror that Scarecrow has unleashed. It is an acknowledgement that this threat is beyond conventional containment, beyond the usual methods of law enforcement. The only recourse is to abandon the city, to cede it to the master of fear, at least for a time. The city becomes a ghost town, its towering skyscrapers standing silent and empty, their windows reflecting the pale, anxious sky. The usual cacophony of urban life is replaced by an eerie quiet, broken only by the distant sounds of departing vehicles and the occasional gust of wind whistling through deserted alleyways. Stores are shuttered, their display windows reflecting nothing but the desolate streets. Parks once filled with the laughter of children lie still and vacant, their swings swaying gently in the lonely breeze. The silence is profound, a heavy blanket that smothers the vibrant energy that once defined Gotham. This evacuation is not just a physical displacement, it is a psychological blow, a public admission of defeat. It shatters the illusion of invincibility that Gotham, despite its troubles, has always clung to. It forces its citizens to confront the terrifying reality that their city, their home, can be rendered uninhabitable by a single, terrifying idea. The fear toxin is not just a chemical agent, it is a symbol of vulnerability, a stark reminder that even the strongest defences can be breached by the right kind of weapon, a weapon that targets the mind, not the body. The city, once a bustling metropolis, becomes a vast, empty stage for Scarecrow's grand performance. He has cleared the audience, leaving only a chosen few, those who are either too stubborn, too brave, or too foolish to leave. Among them, of course, is Batman, the one man Scarecrow truly wishes to break. The empty streets are a canvas for his twisted art, a laboratory for his ultimate experiment. He intends to prove that even the Dark Knight, the symbol of Gotham's unwavering resolve, can be reduced to a quivering mess of fear. The silence of the evacuated city is a prelude to the screams that Scarecrow hopes to elicit, the ultimate validation of his power. The remaining citizens, those who could not or would not leave, are left to face the encroaching terror alone. They huddle in their homes, listening to the silence, imagining the horrors that might be lurking just outside their doors, or worse, just inside their minds. The city, once a sanctuary, becomes a prison of fear, its walls closing in on those who remain. The very air they breathe feels heavy with dread, each breath a potential trigger for the nightmare. The fear toxin is a pervasive, invisible enemy, a quiet menace that seeps into every crack and crevice, waiting to unleash its full, terrifying power. The evacuation is complete, and Gotham is a hollow shell, a monument to fear. The stage is set for Scarecrow's ultimate act, a citywide nightmare designed to break not just Batman, but the very spirit of hope and resilience that he represents. The sky above Gotham remains a muted grey, reflecting the sombre mood below. No birds sing, no distant traffic hums, just the wind, a lonely whisper, through the deserted streets, carrying with it the scent of impending doom. The city holds its breath, waiting for the first terrifying manifestation of Scarecrow's grand design, waiting for the fear to truly begin. The empty buildings stand sentinel, silent witnesses to the coming storm, a storm of psychological torment and unimaginable dread. The city is a canvas, and Scarecrow is ready to paint his masterpiece of fear, a masterpiece that will forever redefine the meaning of terror in Gotham. The silence is not peaceful, it is pregnant with anticipation, a heavy, suffocating quiet before the inevitable explosion of panic. The city waits, a vast, empty stage, for the curtains to rise on its darkest hour. The fear, a palpable entity, begins to settle over everything, a cold, heavy blanket that promises to smother all hope. Gotham, the city of shadows, is about to become the city of nightmares, a testament to the power of one man's understanding of fear. The air itself seems to shimmer with unseen dread, a silent promise of the horrors to come. The city, stripped bare of its inhabitants, is left vulnerable, a perfect target for the architect of fear. The evacuation is a collective gasp of terror, a desperate attempt to escape the inevitable. But for those who remain, and for the Dark Knight, there is no escape, only confrontation. The silence is profound, a deep, unsettling calm before the storm of terror breaks loose, a storm designed to shatter the very foundations of Gotham's courage. The city waits, a silent, empty shell, for the fear to begin its insidious work, to transform every shadow into a monster, every thought into a nightmare. The stage is set, the players are in place, and the symphony of fear is about to begin its chilling overture. The stage is set, the players are in place, and the symphony of fear is about to begin its chilling overture. Among these players, a new figure emerges from the shadows, cloaked in a tactical suit that gleams with an unsettling menace. This is the Arkham Knight, a commander of an army, a strategist of fear, and a phantom of vengeance. His presence is a cold, hard fact, a new threat that Batman must unravel, a puzzle piece that does not seem to fit into the familiar patterns of Gotham's rogues gallery. There is a precision to his movements, a calculated cruelty in his commands that speaks of a deeper understanding of Batman's tactics, an intimate knowledge of his vulnerabilities. This is not just another villain seeking power or chaos. This is something far more personal, far more insidious. The Arkham Knight moves with a purpose, a relentless drive fueled by a past that remains hidden, a history that is slowly, painfully brought to light through the course of the long night. His voice, when it finally breaks through the comms, is distorted, metallic, a chilling echo that masks any hint of human emotion. Yet even through the digital filter, there is an underlying current of fury, a simmering resentment that promises to boil over into outright hatred. He speaks of betrayal, of abandonment, of promises broken and trust shattered. These are not the words of a stranger. These are the accusations of someone deeply wounded, someone who feels wronged by the very hero he now seeks to destroy. The city itself seems to hold its breath, sensing the profound personal nature of this conflict. This is not just about saving Gotham, this is about confronting a ghost, a past mistake that has returned with a terrifying new form and a singular, destructive agenda. The Arkham Knight's army, a vast and technologically advanced force, moves through the streets with an efficiency that speaks of rigorous training and unwavering loyalty. They are his instruments, extensions of his will, each soldier a pawn in his grand, horrifying game. He directs them with an almost supernatural foresight, anticipating Batman's every move, countering his strategies with a chilling accuracy. It is as if he knows Batman's mind, understands the workings of his internal clock, the rhythm of his fighting style. This intimate knowledge is a weapon in itself, a constant reminder to Batman that this enemy is different, that this battle is unlike any he has faced before. The Arkham Knight's every action is a deliberate blow, aimed not just at Batman's physical form, but at his very spirit, at the core of his belief system. He seeks to dismantle not only the bat signal, but the very idea of Batman, to expose the hero's perceived failures, and to bring about his ultimate downfall. The revelation of his true identity is a slow, agonizing process, a series of breadcrumbs scattered throughout the night, each one leading to a more painful truth. There are glimpses of a familiar fighting style, a particular turn of phrase, a specific knowledge of the Batcave's hidden passages. These are not coincidences. They are deliberate clues left by a vengeful mind that wants Batman to suffer, to understand the depth of his perceived transgression. The pieces begin to click into place, forming a picture that is both shocking and heartbreaking. The Arkham Knight is not a new enemy, but an old wound, festering and now unleashed. He is Jason Todd, the second Robin, a young man who once stood by Batman's side, a loyal protégé who was seemingly lost to the brutal whims of the Joker. The memory of Jason Todd's supposed death is a scar on Batman's soul, a moment of profound failure that has haunted him for years. He remembers the video footage, the chilling laughter of the Joker, the brutal beating, the explosion. He remembers the grief, the guilt, the unshakable belief that he had failed to protect one of his own. But the Arkham Knight is very much alive, and his survival is a testament to a twisted form of rebirth, a resurrection fueled by bitterness and a burning desire for retribution. The story of Jason Todd's past as it unfolds is a tragic tale of manipulation and torture. After the Joker's cruel game, Jason was not killed but held captive, subjected to months of psychological torment. The Joker, with his perverse understanding of human psychology, systematically broke Jason down, twisting his perception of reality, poisoning his mind against Batman. He was forced to watch as Batman seemingly moved on, finding a new Robin, a new partner, a new purpose. This perceived abandonment, this feeling of being forgotten and replaced, became the fertile ground in which the seeds of hatred took root and flourished. The Joker's ultimate goal was not just to kill Jason, but to destroy Batman from within, to turn his own protégé into his most formidable enemy. He succeeded, in a horrifying, twisted way. Jason Todd, once a symbol of hope and a beacon of justice, was transformed into a weapon, honed and sharpened by the Joker's cruel hand. He was taught to despise Batman, to see him not as a protector, but as a betrayer, a man who valued his mission over the lives of those he swore to protect. The Arkham Knight's uniform, with its intricate design and advanced weaponry, is a physical manifestation of this transformation. It is a symbol of his new identity, a rejection of his past as Robin, a declaration of war against the man who he believes left him to die. The red bat symbol, once a source of pride, is now a target, a reminder of the perceived betrayal. The helmet with its glowing red eyes conceals his face, hiding the pain and anger that still simmer beneath the surface. It is a mask, both literal and metaphorical, shielding him from the world and from the memories of who he once was. His tactics, his strategies, his intimate knowledge of Batman's methods all stem from his time as Robin. He knows Batman's weaknesses, his routines, his moral code. He exploits these vulnerabilities with a ruthless efficiency, using Batman's own principles against him. He knows that Batman will not kill, that he will always try to save lives, and he uses this knowledge to create impossible choices, to force Batman into situations where he must compromise his own values. The Arkham Knight's ultimate goal is not just to defeat Batman, but to break him, to make him experience the same sense of despair and helplessness that Jason himself endured. He wants Batman to understand the profound pain of abandonment, the crushing weight of betrayal. He wants to see Batman's spirit shattered, his will to fight extinguished. The city, caught in the crossfire of this deeply personal vendetta, becomes a stage for their final confrontation. The fear toxin, unleashed by Scarecrow, amplifies the terror, creating a hallucinatory landscape where Batman's deepest fears are brought to life. But for Jason, the fear is not a hallucination. It is a lived reality, a constant companion since his time with the Joker. He is the embodiment of that fear, a living, breathing testament to the psychological damage that can be inflicted upon even the strongest of wills. As the truth about the Arkham Knight's identity becomes undeniable, a wave of profound sadness washes over Batman. The guilt, always present, intensifies, a crushing weight that threatens to overwhelm him. He sees not just an enemy, but a lost son, a broken promise, a tragic consequence of his own perceived failures. The fight is no longer just about saving Gotham, it is about saving Jason, about reaching through the layers of hatred and pain to find the young man he once knew. The confrontation between Batman and the Arkham Knight is a brutal, emotionally charged battle. It is a clash of ideologies, a struggle between vengeance and redemption. Jason's every punch, every kick, every bullet fired is laden with years of pent-up rage and sorrow. Batman, in turn, fights with a heavy heart, his movements tinged with regret and a desperate hope for reconciliation. He tries to reason with Jason, to appeal to the boy he once mentored, to remind him of the good he once believed in. But the Arkham Knight is too deeply entrenched in his hatred, too consumed by the desire for revenge. The Joker's influence, even after his supposed death, continues to cast a long shadow over Jason, a constant whisper in his ear, urging him towards destruction. The final moments of their confrontation are a desperate plea, a last-ditch effort by Batman to break through the Arkham Knight's hardened exterior. He speaks of the past, of the moments they shared, of the bond they once had. He acknowledges his mistakes, his failures, his regrets. He offers not just forgiveness, but understanding, a chance for Jason to let go of the pain and to find a path towards healing. The city watches, unknowingly, as this deeply personal drama unfolds, a quiet tragedy playing out amidst the chaos and fear. The rain continues to fall, washing over the streets, a somber backdrop to the emotional storm that rages between mentor and protege. The Arkham Knight, for a fleeting moment, shows a flicker of doubt, a crack in his hardened resolve. The years of torment, the Joker's insidious influence, the burning desire for vengeance, all begin to waver in the face of Batman's unwavering compassion. It is a small, almost imperceptible shift, but it is there, a glimmer of the young man Jason once was, still buried beneath layers of pain and hatred. The true identity of the Arkham Knight is not just a plot twist, it is a profound exploration of trauma, of abandonment, and of the enduring power of both hatred and hope. It is a reminder that even in the darkest of times, even when faced with the most personal of betrayals, the path to redemption, though difficult, is always possible. The revelation of Jason Todd's return, not as a hero, but as an enemy, casts a long shadow over Batman's legacy, forcing him to confront the very real consequences of his war on crime. It is a testament to the fact that even the most well-intentioned actions can have unforeseen and tragic repercussions, creating monsters out of those who were once meant to be allies. The night continues, the city still gripped by fear, but a new understanding has dawned, a deeper, more personal dimension to the unfolding nightmare. The Arkham Knight story is a testament to the fragile line between heroism and villainy, a poignant reminder that sometimes the greatest threats come not from strangers, but from those we once held closest. The city's nightmare deepens, twisting inward, becoming something far more insidious than mere physical threat. It settles not just in the streets but within the very mind of the caped crusader himself. The Joker, even in death, proves himself a master of psychological warfare. His final act a macabre, lingering performance that plays out within Batman's own consciousness. It is a slow, insidious process, this Jokerization, a dark echo of a villain's twisted humour, finding a home in the hero's most private thoughts. Batman begins to see him, a spectral presence, a constant, mocking companion, visible only to him. The Joker is not a ghost in the traditional sense, but a manifestation of the fear toxin, a potent cocktail of chemicals and psychological trauma that warps perception. This internal struggle is perhaps the most personal and terrifying battle Batman has ever faced. He fights not against a physical foe, but against an idea, a memory, a part of himself that the Joker has managed to infect. The villain's laugh, once a chilling sound from outside, now resonates from within, a constant, unsettling soundtrack to Batman's desperate efforts to save Gotham. He walks through the familiar halls of Wayne Manor, yet the Joker's grinning face might appear in the polished surface of a grandfather clock, or his cackling voice might whisper from the shadows of the grand staircase. The Batcave, usually a sanctuary of logic and order, becomes another stage for this internal drama. The Joker might lean against the Batmobile, a phantom cigarette dangling from his fingers, offering sardonic commentary on Batman's every move. He is a constant, unwelcome passenger, observing, judging, and subtly influencing Batman's thoughts and actions. This is not just a hallucination, it is a deep-seated psychological imprint, a virus of the mind that threatens to consume the host. The city itself seems to conspire with this internal torment. The rain never truly stops, a perpetual grey curtain over the neon glow of Gotham. The damaged buildings, the smoke rising from distant fires, the cries of the trapped citizens, all these external pressures amplify the internal chaos. Batman feels the weight of the city's fear, and the Joker's presence reminds him, with every sneer, of his own deepest anxieties. The villain knows Batman's fears better than anyone, and he exploits them with a malicious glee that transcends the boundary of life and death. He is a mirror, reflecting Batman's darkest impulses, his failures, his moments of doubt, all magnified and distorted through the lens of a madman's perception. This Jokerization is a gradual unravelling, a slow erosion of Batman's iron will. He finds himself thinking like the Joker, anticipating his twisted logic, even at times understanding the dark humour. This is the true horror, the threat of becoming the very thing he fights. The line between hero and villain blurs, not in the eyes of the public, but within Batman's own fractured psyche. He keeps this internal struggle hidden from his allies, knowing the burden is his alone to bear. To reveal it would be to admit a vulnerability, a weakness that could compromise his mission and endanger those he protects. He navigates the city, grappling with Scarecrow's fear toxin, with the Arkham Knight's relentless pursuit, and with the constant nagging presence of the Joker in his mind. Each new challenge, each new confrontation, becomes a test of his mental fortitude. The Joker is there in the corner of his eye, whispering doubts, suggesting violent solutions, subtly pushing Batman towards a darker path. He is the ultimate tempter, the devil on Batman's shoulder, always present, always mocking, always trying to pull him down into the abyss of madness. The final confrontation with the Joker's essence is not a physical fight in a grand arena, but a battle for Batman's soul, fought within the confines of his own mind. It is a psychological showdown, a desperate struggle to reclaim his identity from the encroaching madness. The Joker's essence, fueled by the fear toxin, attempts to take full control, to completely subsume Batman's personality. This is the ultimate victory for the Joker, A final perverse triumph from beyond the grave. He seeks to replace Batman, to become the new host, to continue his reign of terror through the very hero who fought so valiantly to stop him. Batman finds himself in a distorted, nightmarish version of his own mind, a landscape shaped by the Joker's twisted imagination. Familiar places are warped, figures from his past appear as grotesque parodies, and the Joker's laughter echoes from every shadow. It is a maze of psychological traps designed to break his spirit and force him to surrender. He must confront his deepest fears, his past traumas, and the very essence of his own identity. The Joker's presence is overwhelming, a constant barrage of taunts and manipulations, each one designed to chip away at Batman's resolve. But Batman is not alone in this internal battle. He draws strength from the memories of his true allies, from the principles he has always upheld, and from the unwavering belief in justice that defines him. He remembers Alfred's steady wisdom, Gordon's unwavering dedication, and the hope that Gotham represents. These memories act as anchors, pulling him back from the brink, reminding him of who he truly is and what he fights for. The love and loyalty of his friends, though not physically present, become powerful weapons in this mental war. He confronts the Joker directly, not with fists but with his will. He rejects the darkness, he pushes back against the insidious influence, and he reasserts his own identity. It is a moment of profound self-realization, a reaffirmation of his core values. He understands that while the Joker may have imprinted himself upon his mind, he does not define him. Batman is not the Joker, and he never will be. He is the symbol of hope, the protector of Gotham, and his resolve is stronger than any toxin, any psychological manipulation. In a climactic internal struggle, Batman manages to cage the Joker's essence within his own mind, not by destroying it, but by mastering it. He understands that the Joker's influence, while contained, will always be a part of him, a dark reminder of the battles he has fought and the sacrifices he has made. It is a victory, but a somber one, for the scars of this psychological warfare will forever remain. He has faced the ultimate challenge, confronted the darkness within, and emerged not unscathed, but ultimately triumphant. The Joker's legacy is not one of absolute victory, but of a persistent, haunting presence, a testament to the enduring struggle between order and chaos, hero and villain, within the very heart of Gotham's protector. The city may still be in peril, but Batman has faced his greatest internal demon and found a way to continue his fight, even with the ghost of his greatest foe forever whispering in his ear. He carries the burden, a silent testament to the price of heroism, a constant reminder of the darkness he must always keep at bay, both within and without. The night continues, the city still gripped by fear, but a new understanding has dawned, a deeper, more personal dimension to the unfolding nightmare. He walks on, a silent guardian, forever marked by the laughter of a madman, yet unyielding in his purpose. He walks on, a silent guardian, forever marked by the laughter of a madman, yet unyielding in his purpose. But he does not walk alone, not truly. Even in the deepest shadows of Gotham, where the line between hero and villain often blurs, there are those who stand with him, a steadfast constellation of allies, each a vital thread in the intricate tapestry of the city's defence. Their presence is a quiet strength, a network of support that allows the caped crusader to push his limits, knowing that he is not the sole bulwark against the encroaching chaos. These are the members of the Bat family, and their contributions, though often less heralded than Batman's own, are no less crucial to Gotham's survival. There is Robin, a figure of youthful energy and unwavering loyalty. Different individuals have worn the mantle, each bringing their own distinct skills and perspectives to the fight. We see Tim Drake, with his brilliant mind and keen detective instincts, often poring over data, sifting through the digital detritus of criminal enterprises, finding the patterns that others miss. His presence in the Batcave, hunched over a console, bathed in the soft glow of multiple screens, is a familiar sight. He is the strategic mind, the one who can anticipate the enemy's next move, who can see the chess game unfolding even before the pieces are fully arrayed. He is a quiet force, a steady hand in the storm, a reflection of Batman's own meticulous nature, but with a youthful optimism that sometimes cuts through the pervasive gloom. His dedication is profound, a choice made not out of obligation, but from a deeply held belief in justice, a conviction that Gotham can be saved. Then there is Nightwing, the original Robin, Dick Grayson, who has forged his own path, a hero in his own right. His movements are fluid, acrobatic, a dance of precision and power. He embodies a different kind of heroism, one that is perhaps a little more open, a little more outwardly expressive than Batman's stoic demeanour. His presence in Gotham, whether on a rooftop, silhouetted against the moonlight, or moving through the labyrinthine streets, is a comforting one for those who know of him. He brings a lightness, a sense of hope, even in the darkest hours. His combat style is a beautiful display of grace and efficiency, a testament to years of rigorous training and an innate understanding of human movement. He is a reminder that even after stepping out from Batman's shadow, the lessons learned, the values instilled continue to guide him. He is a bridge between the past and the present, a living legacy of what Batman has built, not just for himself, but for the city he protects. And then there is Oracle, the brilliant Barbara Gordon, a force of nature, even when confined to a wheelchair. Her mind is a vast network, a digital web that encompasses all of Gotham. From the quiet solitude of her clock tower, she is the eyes and ears of the Bat family, a constant source of information, a lifeline in moments of crisis. Her voice, calm and steady, guides them through treacherous situations, providing crucial data, anticipating traps, and offering strategic advice. She's the ultimate support system, the one who can see the bigger picture, who can connect the seemingly disparate pieces of information into a coherent whole. Her ability to process vast amounts of data, to hack into secure systems, to monitor the city's pulse, is unparalleled. She is the silent guardian of the Guardians, a beacon of intelligence and resilience. Her presence is a testament to the fact that strength comes in many forms, and that true heroism is not always about physical prowess, but about the power of the mind, the unwavering spirit, and the dedication to a cause greater than oneself. The soft glow of her computer screens illuminates her face, a steady light in the darkness, a symbol of hope and unwavering resolve. Commissioner Gordon, James Gordon, stands as another pillar of support, a man of integrity within the often corrupt Gotham City Police Department. His relationship with Batman is a unique one, built on mutual respect and a shared commitment to justice. He is the official face of law enforcement, the one who navigates the bureaucratic maze, who tries to maintain order within the legal framework, even when that framework is strained to its breaking point. His quiet conversations with Batman on rain-slicked rooftops, the beam of the bat signal cutting through the night, are iconic moments, brief but meaningful exchanges that underscore their partnership. He understands the necessity of Batman's methods, even if he cannot always openly endorse them. He is a man of principle, a steadfast presence in a city that often seems to be spiraling out of control. His dedication to his city, to his family, and to the ideals of justice is unshakable. He represents the best of Gotham, a reminder that even within the system, there are good people fighting the good fight. His weary eyes have seen too much, but his resolve remains unbroken, a quiet strength that anchors the city in its darkest hours. Beyond these core figures, There are others, less frequently seen, but no less significant. Alfred Pennyworth, the loyal butler, is the quiet anchor of Wayne Manor, the steady hand that keeps Bruce Wayne grounded. His wisdom, his dry wit, and his unwavering support are invaluable. He is the confidant, the medic, the strategist, the moral compass. His presence is a constant, a comforting reminder of humanity and warmth in a life often consumed by darkness. His quiet care, the perfectly brewed tea, the insightful observation, all contribute to Batman's ability to continue his relentless crusade. He is the family Batman chose, the one who reminds him of the man beneath the cowl. His gentle voice, filled with concern, is a familiar sound in the quiet halls of the manor, a soothing balm after a long night of fighting. Each of these allies contributes in their own unique way, forming a complex and resilient network of defense against the myriad threats that plague Gotham. They are not mere sidekicks or assistants. They are partners, equals in the fight, each bringing a distinct set of skills, perspectives, and emotional support. Their presence mitigates the crushing isolation that might otherwise consume Batman, providing him with a sense of connection, a reminder that he is not alone in his burden. They are the light that cuts through the pervasive gloom, the hope that keeps the city from succumbing entirely to its own darkness. Their stories intertwine with Batman's, creating a richer, more nuanced narrative of heroism, sacrifice, and unwavering dedication. The safety of Gotham is not the work of one man, but of a collective, a family bound not by blood, but by a shared purpose, a common understanding of the profound responsibility they bear. The city breathes a little easier, knowing that this diverse group stands ready, vigilant and united against the encroaching shadows. Their quiet strength is a promise whispered on the wind, a silent vow to protect, to serve, to never give up on a city that often seems determined to destroy itself. The night continues, but the darkness is not absolute, for within its depths a collective light shines, a beacon of hope for the troubled metropolis. Each of them, in their own way, carries a piece of the burden, a quiet testament to the price of heroism, a constant reminder of the darkness they must always keep at bay, both within and without. The night continues, the city still gripped by fear, but a new understanding has dawned, a deeper, more personal dimension to the unfolding nightmare. He walks on, a silent guardian, forever marked by the laughter of a madman, yet unyielding in his purpose, knowing that he does not walk alone. He walks on, a silent guardian, forever marked by the laughter of a madman, yet unyielding in his purpose, knowing that he does not walk alone. The city's shadows stretch long and deep, a canvas upon which his vigil unfolds, and within these shadows he is a master of tools, each one an extension of his will, a silent promise of justice. His utility belt, a marvel of engineering and necessity, hums with a quiet energy, holding within its many compartments the solutions to countless dilemmas, each device meticulously crafted for a specific purpose, a testament to his foresight and preparation. He reaches for the batarang, its sleek aerodynamic form cool against his gloved fingers, a familiar weight that speaks of precision and speed. It is not merely a projectile, but a versatile instrument, capable of disarming a distant foe, activating a remote switch, or even stunning multiple adversaries with a single, expertly thrown arc. The sonic batarang, a more specialized variant, emits a high-frequency pulse that disorients and distracts, creating openings where none existed, a subtle disruption in the symphony of chaos. Then there is the explosive gel, a viscous, adhesive compound that adheres to surfaces, waiting for the precise moment to detonate, creating new pathways, crumbling weakened walls, or simply creating a diversion, a controlled explosion that serves a strategic purpose rather than wanton destruction. He carries the grapnel gun, a vital piece of equipment that allows him to traverse the vertical landscape of Gotham with effortless grace, its powerful winch pulling him upwards, a silent ascent into the night, granting him a panoramic view of the city's sprawling expanse, an ever-present reminder of the vastness of his task. The line launcher, another essential tool for aerial movement, extends a taut cable between 2 points, allowing him to glide across chasms or create an impromptu zipline, a swift and silent passage over dangerous terrain. Each gadget is a thought made manifest, a problem anticipated and then solved long before the problem itself arises. He moves with an almost supernatural fluidity. His movements are dance between shadow and light, each action precise and economical. When confrontation becomes inevitable, his fighting style is a ballet of controlled aggression, a rhythmic flow of strikes and counter-strikes, blocks and dodges, each movement blending seamlessly into the next. This is the free-flow combat system, a testament to years of rigorous training, a mastery of martial arts that transforms a chaotic brawl into a calculated performance. He parries a punch, the impact absorbed by his armoured gauntlet, and in the same motion delivers a swift counterblow, a precise strike that momentarily incapacitates his opponent. He sweeps a leg, sending another thug sprawling, then effortlessly transitions into a series of rapid-fire jabs, each one delivered with controlled power. The rhythm of combat is almost meditative, a constant assessment of threats, a swift response to every attack, a seamless chain of offensive and defensive maneuvers. He uses the environment to his advantage, slamming an enemy into a wall or using a nearby object as an improvised weapon, each interaction adding to the dynamic flow of the fight. The caped crusader can disarm a foe with a quick flick of his wrist, sending their weapon clattering to the ground, then turn to face another assailant, his movements never faltering, never breaking the continuous chain of action. He performs takedowns, swift and decisive, rendering an opponent unconscious without resorting to lethal force, a strict adherence to his moral code, a silent promise to himself and to the city he protects. The combat is a puzzle, each enemy a piece to be moved, each attack an opportunity to be exploited, and he is the master strategist, orchestrating the chaos into a symphony of controlled violence. The sound of his fists connecting with an enemy, the clang of a weapon hitting the ground, the grunts of pain all blend into a percussive backdrop to his unwavering resolve. He is not just fighting, he is asserting his dominance, sending a clear message to those who would prey on the innocent. Beyond the raw power and the sophisticated gadgets, there is another layer to his nocturnal activities, a more cerebral pursuit that distinguishes him from mere brawlers. This is the realm of detective work, a meticulous unravelling of clues, a reconstruction of events that often seem hopelessly convoluted. He activates his detective mode, a visual filter that overlays the world with a new perspective, highlighting forensic evidence, tracing the paths of bullets, revealing the faint traces of fingerprints, or detecting the heat signatures of hidden enemies. The world shifts, colours draining away, replaced by a stark analytical view that reveals the unseen, the hidden narratives embedded within every crime scene. He examines a bullet casing, its unique markings telling a story of caliber and weapon type, a small piece of a larger puzzle. He traces the trajectory of a bullet, a glowing line that pierces through the air, revealing the shooter's position, the angle of attack, the intended victim. He finds faint footprints, almost invisible to the naked eye, but clearly defined within the detective mode, each step a breadcrumb, leading him closer to the truth, revealing the size and gait of the perpetrator. He analyzes a blood spatter pattern, its shape and distribution, revealing the force of impact, the type of weapon used, the direction of the blow, a silent scream frozen in time. He uses his forensic scanner, a small handheld device that meticulously sifts through environmental data, searching for DNA traces, chemical residues, or other microscopic evidence that might have been overlooked. Each piece of evidence is carefully catalogued, cross-referenced, and analysed, slowly building a comprehensive picture of the crime, a narrative woven from fragments and inferences. He reconstructs a sequence of events, layering video footage with audio recordings, replaying moments of violence or deception, searching for inconsistencies, for tells, for the subtle details that betray the truth. He interrogates witnesses, not with threats or intimidation, but with a quiet intensity, a piercing gaze that encourages honesty, a calm demeanour that disarms suspicion. He connects seemingly disparate pieces of information, drawing lines between unrelated incidents, revealing the hidden patterns, the overarching schemes that drive the city's criminal underworld. The detective mode is not just a visual tool, it is a way of thinking, a method of approaching problems with a scientific rigour, a dedication to empirical evidence that complements his physical prowess. He is a master of deduction, a modern-day Sherlock Holmes cloaked in the shadows of Gotham, his intellect as sharp as his batarangs, his mind as agile as his movements. The crime scenes are not just places of violence, they are narratives waiting to be read, stories whispered by the silent witnesses of debris and damage. He understands that true justice requires not only the apprehension of criminals, but also the understanding of their motives, the unravelling of their plots, the prevention of future atrocities. He is a living database of criminal psychology, a walking encyclopedia of Gotham's underworld. His knowledge of its inhabitants and their methods, vast and ever-expanding. He knows the nuances of each villain's modus operandi, the subtle signatures they leave behind, the patterns of their madness. This profound understanding allows him to anticipate their next moves, to predict their schemes, to be one step ahead in this perpetual game of cat and mouse. The night deepens, but his resolve remains unyielding, his focus unwavering, as he continues his silent vigil, a guardian of justice, a master of his craft, forever intertwined with the fate of Gotham. The night deepens, but his resolve remains unyielding, his focus unwavering, as he continues his silent vigil, a guardian of justice, a master of his craft, forever intertwined with the fate of Gotham. And so, the long winding road of his crusade reaches its final inevitable bend. The city, a character in itself, breathes a heavy sigh, its gargoyles watching over the last act of a drama played out in shadows and neon. Batman, a figure etched into the very stone of Gotham, faces his ultimate challenge, not just against a rogue's gallery of villains, but against the very idea of himself, against the weight of his legacy. The fear he has inspired, a double-edged sword, now threatens to consume him, to unravel the careful tapestry of his existence. The Joker, a phantom limb, a persistent echo in his mind, has left an indelible mark, a toxic seed that has taken root. This final confrontation is not just about stopping a new threat, but about expelling that internal poison, about finding a way to truly be free. The very air of Gotham feels charged, electric, with the culmination of years of struggle, of countless battles fought in the rain-slicked alleyways and the towering Gothic spires. The bat signal, a beacon of hope and a harbinger of fear, casts its familiar glow across the clouds, a silent promise to those who look up. But this time, the promise feels different, heavier, as if the light itself carries the burden of an ending. The city holds its breath, waiting to see if its dark night will emerge from the crucible, or if he will be consumed by the very darkness he has fought so valiantly to contain. The streets below hum with a nervous energy, the distant wail of sirens, a mournful symphony. Citizens huddle in their homes, their televisions flickering with news reports, their faces illuminated by the grim reality of a city under siege. They whisper his name, some with reverence, some with trepidation, all with an understanding that something profound is unfolding, something that will forever alter the landscape of their lives. The weight of their expectations, their hopes, their fears, settles upon his broad shoulders, a cloak heavier than any cape. He moves through the labyrinthine streets, a silent shadow among shadows. His grapple hook a familiar whisper against the brickwork. Each rooftop, each ledge, each hidden passage holds a memory, a fragment of a past battle, a ghost of a villain defeated, or a friend lost. The air is thick with the metallic tang of fear gas, a pervasive mist that blurs the lines between reality and nightmare. The Scarecrow, a master of psychological warfare, has unleashed his ultimate weapon, a toxin designed to strip away all courage, to leave only raw, primal terror. Batman, a man who has weaponized fear, now finds himself swimming in its darkest depths, forced to confront his own deepest anxieties, his own personal demons. The hallucination of the Joker, a constant, mocking presence, is a cruel mirror, reflecting his failures, his doubts, his darkest impulses. He sees the faces of those he has failed, those he could not save, their spectral forms swirling around him, a silent accusation. The burden of his choices, the sacrifices he has made, the lines he has walked, pressed down upon him, threatening to crush him. Yet he pushes through, his will a diamond against the relentless pressure. He remembers the faces of those he protects, the innocent lives that depend on his unwavering resolve. He remembers the promise he made, the vow he took, to never let another suffer the fate of his parents. This memory, this sacred oath, is his anchor in the storm, his compass in the darkness. The Batmobile, a roaring beast of metal and technology, tears through the streets, its engines a defiant growl against the encroaching silence. It is an extension of himself, a tool of justice, a symbol of his unwavering commitment. He navigates the treacherous urban landscape with a precision born of years of practice, each turn, each acceleration, a testament to his mastery. The explosions that rock the distant buildings are a grim reminder of the chaos unfolding, the city teetering on the brink. He knows that every second counts, every decision carries immense weight. The fate of Gotham hangs in the balance, a fragile thing that could shatter at any moment. The final confrontation with the Arkham Knight, a figure shrouded in mystery and fueled by a deep-seated vendetta, is a brutal, personal affair. The reveal of Jason Todd, a ghost from his past, a failure he carries like a brand, is a gut punch, a wound reopened. The pain of that revelation, the guilt that washes over him, is almost unbearable. He sees in Jason the consequences of his own rigid adherence to his code, the unintended casualties of his war. The anger, the betrayal, the raw emotion that pours from Jason is a testament to the depth of his suffering, a mirror reflecting Batman's own inner turmoil. He understands the rage, the desire for vengeance, for he has walked that path himself, years ago, in the aftermath of his parents' murder. But he also knows the destructive power of that path, the way it can consume and corrupt. He fights not just to subdue Jason, but to save him, to pull him back from the precipice of self-destruction, to offer him a chance at redemption. The struggle is not just physical, but emotional, a battle for a soul. The weight of his past, the echoes of his failures, press down upon him, but he refuses to succumb. He remembers the lessons learned, the wisdom gained, the understanding that compassion, even for his enemies, is a strength, not a weakness. The final showdown with Scarecrow, a terrifying dance of fear and defiance, pushes Batman to his absolute limits. He is forced to confront his greatest fear, the fear of failing Gotham, of allowing its spirit to be broken. The city, gripped by fear, gas descends into a waking nightmare, its citizens consumed by their deepest anxieties. He sees the terror in their eyes, the despair that threatens to engulf them, and it fuels his resolve. He will not let them fall. He will not let Gotham be destroyed. He faces the ultimate choice, a sacrifice that will define his legacy, a decision that will forever alter the course of his life. The revelation of his identity, a secret he has guarded with his life, is a calculated risk, a desperate gambit to save the city. He understands the implications, the shattering of the illusion, the vulnerability that comes with exposure. But in that moment, with Gotham on the brink, he knows it is the only way. The world watches, stunned, as Bruce Wayne, the billionaire playboy, is revealed to be the Dark Knight. The gasp that ripples through the city is almost palpable, a collective shockwave. The impact of this revelation is profound, a seismic shift in the perception of both the man and the myth. He accepts the consequences, the loss of his anonymity, the end of his dual life. He knows that this is the price of victory, the cost of saving the city he loves. The final act, the Nightfall Protocol, is a desperate, daring plan, a symbolic ending to a long and arduous journey. The explosion that engulfs Wayne Manor, the fiery destruction of his sanctuary, is a powerful visual metaphor for the end of an era. It is a deliberate act of erasure, a final attempt to sever the ties between Bruce Wayne and Batman, to create a new beginning, or perhaps a definitive end. The world believes Batman is dead, consumed by the flames, a heroic sacrifice that saves Gotham. The city mourns its fallen protector, its saviour, its silent guardian. The newspapers are filled with tributes, with eulogies, with the solemn recognition of a legend. But the whispers persist, the rumours of a darker, more terrifying Batman, a new protector rising from the ashes, a figure imbued with the very fear he once fought to inspire. The ending is ambiguous, a deliberate choice, leaving the ultimate fate of Batman open to interpretation. Did he truly die? Did he simply disappear, retreating into the shadows, to continue his vigil in a new, more terrifying form? The final glimpse of a new, fear-inducing batsuit, a silhouette against the night sky, suggests a transformation, an evolution, a continuation of the legend, but in a way that is both familiar and profoundly unsettling. The lasting impact of his journey on Gotham is undeniable. The city has been forever changed by his presence, by his unwavering dedication, by his ultimate sacrifice. He has inspired hope, instilled fear, and shaped the very fabric of its existence. His legacy is etched into the very soul of Gotham, a testament to the power of one man's unwavering will. The streets are quieter now, the air still thick with the memory of conflict, but there is a sense of calm, a fragile peace that has been hard won. The gargoyles still watch, their stone eyes gazing out over a city that has faced its darkest fears and emerged, scarred but resilient. The story of Batman, of his struggles, his triumphs, his sacrifices, will continue to be told, whispered in the shadows, remembered in the light. A timeless tale of a hero who dared to stand against the darkness, and in doing so, became a legend. The night settles, a quiet blanket over the city, and in its embrace the legend endures, a silent promise to a city that will forever remember its dark night.